Game 1 of the 2023 State of Origin series is in the books. And I said in my preview that New South Wales had to win Game 1, one of the most important Game 1s in recent memory. But no, it is Queensland doing what Queensland do, doing the unthinkable to upset the Blues. 26-18 in the first game at Adelaide Oval. Now I want to give Queensland their duty straight away because they were awesome tonight when we were up with 2 points with not long left and Thomas Flegler went off. I thought we were home. I thought we definitely didn't deserve to be in front, but I thought we were home. But Queensland, they came back and they were simply just too good for the Blues. All night, as a Blues fan, it felt like we were on the back foot. And we just had no answer for the Maroons tonight. I'm going to get straight into this review. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. We've still got 2 Origin games to go. And plenty of NRL content coming your way. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on Game 1 of this State of Origin series. But yeah, it's time to talk all things Game 1 now. Yeah, from the get-go, I thought we were definitely not the better side, but I thought we were nearly going to do enough to steal it. Like I said, when Thomas Flegler got sin bins, I thought we were going to win. We had more possession, we had more running meters, we had just as many line breaks, we had more tackle breaks. It honestly felt like we were going to be able to steal that game because it just felt like we had to. Like I said in my preview, Game 2 is in Suncorp. Queensland's record in Sydney is much better than ours in Brisbane. But no, we couldn't do anything. We couldn't match Queensland's intensity. There are some Blues players I know who might cut a bit of slack. And you know what? It's Origin. It's the biggest arena in Australian sport. So I can understand it. But I think some of it may be unwarranted. As for Queensland though, absolutely terrific. From the game started, it felt like Queensland were just on top. Their back 5, which I thought we just had so much more firepower. They outplayed us. Their halves outplayed us. Their forwards completely dominated us. I don't want to be too critical of some Blues players. I'll get into them in a second, but Paddy Tough Carrigan, DCE, Cameron Munster, Reuben Cotter, the Hammer. Just simply phenomenal. It was a pretty good Origin game. Look, I don't want to be too critical of the refereeing, and by no means did they cost New South Wales the game. Just, you know, bro, just stay out of it a little bit, alrighty? You don't need to be blowing that whistle or waving that arm every 10 seconds, but there were some truly standout performances. Reece Walsh on debut didn't light the world on fire, but I thought he was pretty good under the high ball. There were some questions around him and Cobbo to start the game, but both of them, I think only Cobbo made one error, so that was incredible by both Walshy and Cobbo. Cobbo got 2 tries. Cobbo was damn good tonight. He was awesome. Valentine Holmes bounced back in a big way. I thought he did get the better of Stephen Crichton tonight. He looked a bit vulnerable on a few plays, but I thought he was pretty good. The Hammer, my man of the match. 147 running meters, a line break, and 2 tries to his name. He called out Tommy Turbo midweek, and we'll get to Tommy Turbo in a second, but he was pretty good. Murray Taulagi as well. I questioned his place in the side, but he got 100 running meters as well. But the halves, I said it in my preview, for Queensland to win this game, Munster and DC had to outplay our halves. And I both thought they did. Now, there is an argument you could make that Luai was almost the best half on the field. But DCE, man, I love him, right? I do love him. But damn, it's frustrating. Watching this dude in a Queensland jersey, he did have that one error which led to a try for Stephen Crichton, I believe it was. But he was so good tonight. If he does that for Manly, we should be a final side. The way he puts this team on his back. We'll get into Nathan Cleary soon because I do want to talk about some of these Blues players, but we'll quickly finish off the Queensland players. But DCE, he might be one of the best Queensland players of all time. Thomas Flegler, he was a bit quiet, but he did have some absolute standouts by his forward companions. Lindsay Collins got the game winner. He outjumped his Roosters teammate James Tedesco. Tommy Gilbert unfortunately went off pretty early. Paddy Carrigan ran 140 metres. The problem with this Queensland side, when you look at the stats, no one really jumped out, but by the eye test, they were just simply too good in the forwards, in the back line, especially in the halves as well. DCE, I'm a Manly fan, I'm biased towards him, but man, just do that for Manly players, bros. Can you just do it for Manly now? I want to talk some Blues players because it was a very, very disappointing night. Now, I don't want to be too critical of our fullback, of our captain. The stats, they tell a different story, but anyone who watched that game, this was without a doubt James Tedesco's worst Origin performance. I know he had 209 running metres, but he was pretty poor tonight, Teddy, especially defensively. The Hammer try, look, the Hammer's a generational talent. I can sort of understand it. The Cobbo try, that was so disappointing, man. So, the stats tell you one thing about Tedesco, but the eye test, I just thought he overplayed his hand way too much in this game. You know, he seemed like the Blues' number 2 option. It seemed like the Blues tried to build a game plan around both him and Nathan Cleary. But man, they were both very, very poor tonight, and they're arguably the top 2 best players in the world. Brian To'o, he's just a player that your casual fans are not going to recognise. 201 running metres of 18 runs. He was absolutely phenomenal. Probably our best back in this game. Stephen Crichton, he might cop some flack, but I thought he was pretty good in this game. Now, Tommy Turbo, man, was he starved for possession. They just couldn't find a way to give Tommy the ball in open space. He roamed once. You know, that was the biggest thing about Tommy, is how good he is as a roamer. He was meant to be our second fullback, but he was just nowhere to be seen. Now, our forwards were dominated, so maybe he couldn't just find any room. But the one time he did, we looked dangerous down the left-hand side. But, you know, I'm not going to be too critical of Turbo. He did go off with a HIA, which sucks for Manly, because now, not only do we lose this Blues game, even though Tommy Flegler got sin-binned, he's out for Manly next week too. The Fox, he was honestly a bit disappointing too. He got over 100 running metres, couldn't really insert himself into the game, but our forward pack, man. Look, Payne Haas, I still think he's a generational talent, but damn was he disappointing. He was my tip for man of the match. He got so many minutes and only managed 123 metres off 15 runs. I know I'm biased. I just sucked off DCE. I probably made excuses for Tommy just then. But the lack of Jake Trbojevic, just like game 1 last year, he's one of our most important players. Jakey Trbojevic is the best defender in rugby league, and it's not even close. Game 2, outside of Cleary, he was our best player. And the reason Cleary was able to be our best player was because Jake Trbojevic single-handedly took down the Queensland Maroons. You saw it when he came back for us just a few weeks ago against the Raiders. Tarpanay, Corey Horsburgh, Josh Papali'i. You saw these guys on the weekend for the Raiders against the Bunnies, and they were simply phenomenal. And the week before, Jake Trbojevic shut them all down. That is how good Jakey is, and damn, didn't we miss him tonight? Like I said in my preview, we had to match him in the middle to have a chance, and we just couldn't. Pangai Jr., I thought, had some good moments. The error with the offload was so Pangai Jr., and I thought he really struggled defensively in the opening. Api Coruscant, he played 80 minutes, and I thought he was really good. A lot of people are going to call for Cookie to come in just because of the fact we lost, but I thought Api Coruscant, especially defensively, was probably the closest thing we had to a Jake. Tyson Frizzell, I thought he had a pretty good game as well, but he just doesn't pass the footy. Now, it'll be interesting because as of this performance, I don't think we can drop him. But if you want someone who's going to be able to give early ball to Todd Turbo and the Fox, I don't think Frizzell's that guy, especially playing outside of Cleary. Hudson Young, unfortunately, I don't want to be too critical. And, you know, he's living a childhood dream, but I think he didn't even come back on with just, you know, I don't want to say any more, because, yeah, it just wasn't a debut to remember. I didn't have him in my side personally. I think maybe you could have picked him on the bench. I had Old Kawatu in there for anyone who's been following the channel, but yeah, I'm not going to say anything more. I say, yo, look, the stats, again, they tell you he played all right, but as a Blues fan, maybe Queensland fans will think different. I thought it was just very predictable. And one of the criticisms I had with the selection of Freddie Fittler's team is, yes, I had Luai, I had Cleary, I had Yo in my side. But I said that Queensland have a chance with this Penrith connection because they actually haven't been the best team attacking-wise. And they did concede 26 points tonight because, you know, they're not all Penrith players. And the attack, it just wasn't there. Like I said, Jarome Luai, I know you guys, a lot of people don't like him. But he was probably our best player tonight. He was the only guy, more than Tommy Turbo, more than James Tedesco, more than Nathan Cleary. Every time he touched the ball, I just thought something was going to happen. Now, Critter did have that error off probably a pass where he made the wrong decision, but he was by far our best attacking player. People are going to call for changes, but Jarome Luai has to be there in Game 3. Junior Bolo I thought was good when coming on. Cameron Murray as well. I think he needs to be in the back row starting. I think he needs to be on there for 80 minutes. Liam Martin was definitely our best player. He was absolutely phenomenal. He changed the game and got us back in it towards the end of that first half. He made a simple error off the kickoff, but outside of that, he was probably our best player. Him or Luai, I'd probably give it to. And Nico Hines, I know, he missed the tackle on the ham, which put the game to bed. Besides Lindsay Collins out jumping his fullback. I don't want to be mean to Nico Hines because he was chucked on in the position he's never played before. At least if he played dummy half, we saw him when he started at Melbourne. It was a gun there, you know? He was pretty bloody good, Nico, when he started as a utility off the bench. But unfortunately, the way Freddie used him, I just don't think that was the player. So, a very disappointing night for the Blues. You know, we built this team a lot about James Tedesco, Tom Trbojevic and Nathan Cleary. Now, Turbo, he did go looking for the ball, but we just couldn't give him any service. I thought James Tedesco completely outplayed his hand. And what has been the story for the most Origin series since he debuted, Nathan Cleary, as good as he is, I still think he's the best player in the world. Once again, my halfback from the Peninsula decided that, nah, bruh, I'm the best number 7 still, which sucks. Because Cleary just put 46 points on him a month ago. But you know what? Congrats to the Maroons. As a Blues fan, so disappointing. You know, maybe we've got to stop picking players who say they love Queensland. Maybe that is it, because I don't hear a Queensland fan saying that. Maybe it's the Navy jerseys. But at the end of the day, we were just simply outplayed. Maybe the Blues will make some changes. As for Billy Slater and the Maroons, look, Reece Boston set the world alight, but the hammer was the right call in the centres. And I think Reece Walsh is going to be such a key Origin player for them for years to come. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, guys. Smash that subscribe button too. You don't want to not be subscribed to Paddy G going into the rest of 2023. Sorry to Queensland fans, but congrats to you. Sorry if I talk too much Blue negativity, but I'm hurt because we're going to Game 2 in Suncorp and the series is nearly all but over. But I have 10% faith. You know, out of 100, you take 10%. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. What were your thoughts on Game 1? And I'll see you in the next one.